What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Saucy Rossy, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue. Today I'm doing up these delicious beef ribs. They are amazing, so like and subscribe and check it out.
It's cold. It's like minus 15 or something like that. It's 6 a.m. Gotta start the cook early. Let's do this.
So I picked up this wonderful little rack of ribs from my local Sobeys, my local supermarket here in Nova Scotia, and I was pretty excited about this. I don't often get the chance to smoke beef ribs like this, so pretty hype on this. As you can see here, there's 4 bones running through this rack, so I'm going to get 4 ribs out of this. That's my goal. I could cut this up differently, but I'm going to a Christmas party here, and I'm going to treat a couple of them, the guys, to some beef ribs. So we'll check out how this goes. So I'm using my Rudd's Muddy SPG. This is a homemade blend. It's a little less peppery than most salt, pepper, garlic blends. I honestly think it's because I'm so low in the bottle. Normally there's a little bit extra on there. So what I did was I actually went into the cupboard and got some of my more coarse grained pepper and even give it a little bit more of a spritzing with it, as they say. As you can see here, one thing I'm doing is I'm not getting the bottom. With beef ribs, they're not like pork ribs. You leave that membrane on, otherwise they will just become a mess and fall apart on you. But you still want to season all the sides. So by having a little tray like this, you can just kind of, push the rack of ribs down into whatever seasoning you have in here, and it doesn't make a huge mess. This is a way easier way to do this. So I also like that I could give it a little shake like that, and it kind of brings everything down into the corner, and I can kind of, sprinkle that on top, trying to get as much of this SPG blend onto that rack of ribs as possible. So once we have this fully coated and ready to go onto our smoker, we're going to get things ready. I like to let this rest on the counter until I have my offset smoker up to temp. And this morning I got it rocking at about 250 or so. And I'm using oak wood for this smoke. So you can see here on my offset smoker, I'm placing it as far away as possible from the firebox to give it a little more space. And here it is just kind of periodically. So with this cook, it's about like 8 hours or so. So checking in just after the first hour, we're seeing a little bit of color form, but with my luck, everything started to happen and it started snowing on me as I'm smoking here, as you can see. It's absolutely beautiful outside, but at the same time, it can kind of be a little annoying when you're trying to smoke stuff. So I took in the scenery, just enjoyed things, trying to look at things in a positive light. And yeah, so here it is after 2 hours. And you can see my crust is starting to build, that bark is starting to form, a little bit of color to the meat. We're still a long ways away, but this is what I want to see. Here it is an hour later, so we're 3 hours into this cook. And again, that red hue is starting to come in. That bone pull is just starting here. That's what I want to see. That fat cap is rendering down just a little bit. That's a slow process, but it's starting, and that's what I want to see. That bone pull was the key indicator that things are working here, so super stoked about that. As you can see here, just another hour later, that bark is building. It's starting to look good. I'm pretty stoked about this. Those bones are peeking out just a little bit more. I'm hype on this. So if you've never cooked beef ribs before, it can be intimidating, but just know it comes out almost like a brisket bite almost off of a bone for a rib. It's so delicious. If you've never tried it, I highly suggest you try it out. Oh my God, it's absolutely to die for. So again, just an hour later, and we're actually getting close to the point where I go ahead and pull these off and wrap them in butcher paper. And I finish them off on the smoker in butcher paper with a little bit of beef tallow. And that just kind of soaks in and helps get them extra juicy and delicious and flavorful. That's a win right there, adding in the beef tallow for sure. Okay, and so here comes the final appearance before the actual wrap. You can see how my bark is looking. The beef has that red hue on the outside. The bones are pulling. They're peeking through just a little bit there. this is looking great. I'm actually super stoked about that bark on there. That SPG came through perfectly. Those bones are poking out, but nothing too intense. I'm going to transfer this over, like I said, into the butcher paper, wrap it with beef tallow, and let this cook for another 2 to 3 hours. This was a long cook, but totally worth it. Check this out. So I pull this off. It's absolutely drenched. I'm not going to lie, I didn't use that much beef tallow. This is just juicy, juicy beef. And I'm really glad I wrapped it to trap all that in here. Check this out. So as I unveil this, I'm seeing these ribs. I'm pretty stoked on them. Those bones are pulling 1, 2, 3, 4. And the top of this is looking good with a nice little bark there. I'm hype on it. So yeah, so I wrap this up in tin foil just to let this rest. I let this rest for probably another hour or 2 maybe. And this was the final result. You can see that little smoke ring on the outside, juicy, tender. Every bite was absolutely delicious, almost like a brisket. So if you've never tried this before, highly recommend it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Join my ever-growing community of home cooks. Take care and stay safe, and thanks again for watching.